Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I am Manohar Kumar, Assistant Professor of English from Government College, Devgarh. In the previous lesson, we studied the poem Elegy written in a country churchyard, composed by Thomas Gray, and we have completed this poem in our last lesson, and today we are going to study a new poem by Robert Browning. Browning's poem My Last Duchess is in the syllabus of BA second year English literature. So, this poem is particularly for BA second year students, but the poem is also important all of the English literature students. So, take it seriously. Before studying the poem, we have to know about the poet. So, today we discuss about the poet. Robert Browning. An introduction. Browning was born in the rural parish of Camberwell in 1812. The poet was one of the great poets of Victorian age. Victorian age, the duration from 1837 to 1901 is called Victorian period because during this period Queen Victoria ruled over the England. So this period is called Victorian period, and Browning is one of the great poets of Victorian age. Browning was born in the rural parish of Camberwell in 1812. His father was a clerk in the Bank of England. He was a man of more than ordinary culture and originality of mind, who possessed a library of 6,000 volumes. The poet's mother was a Scotch. Scotch means from Scotland. He went to no public school and to no university. Till the age of 14, he remained at a school for young gentlemen. When he was 17, he went for a term to a Greek class at University College, Gower Street. The systematic use of poets' early education, the systematic use of his father's admirable library was probably the most important factor in the poet's early education, because poet's father had a great library of 6,000 books. So the poet also was benefited by the library. Browning's first published poem Pauline. During the year 1832, at the age of 20, the young poet wrote his first printed poem, Pauline, a fragment of a confession, which was published in January 1833. It showed the influence of Shelley. In this poem, the influence of Shelley can be noticed. The literary gazette described it as a dreamy volume without an object and unfit for publication. So, Pauline was not a mature poem. Then Browning published Paracelsus, a poem in dramatic form, though in no real sense a drama. Like so many of his works, it is a study of development of character. Then his next important work was Sordello, 1840, a poem in 6,000 lines of heroic couplet. It is acknowledged on all hands to be the most difficult among his work and most obscure poem of Robert Browning. Then in the following year, 1841, appeared Pippa Passage, a delightful work which in its main outlines is as clear as Sordello is definite. So it was these was his early poems. Then in 1845, the Browning met his future wife Elizabeth Barrett, herself a poet of high rank. Elizabeth Barrett was also a poet of high rank, known already as the author of The Seraphim. She was a very delicate woman who spent most of her life on a sofa. Her father had discouraged a more active life. He had apparently made up his mind that she must die and was unwilling to allow her to marry or to travel for her health. He said afterwards of Browning, "I have no objection to the young man, but my daughter should have been thinking of another world." So, Elizabeth Barrett was a different types of woman. Then in 1855, Browning published his next book, Man and Women, a collection of short pieces of the same type as the dramatic romances and lyrics, which published in 1842. Dramatic romances and lyrics published in 1842, and Man and Women published in 1855. Then in 1864, the poet published Dramatic Persona. It was also the collection of poems. Now Major themes of Robert Browning's poems. He was a poet of man. His business was soul dissection. This is the most important fact about the poetry of Robert Browning. He his business was soul dissection. In his poetry, his the main purpose of his poetry was the soul dissection. He was a poet of man. His business was soul dissection. As he tells us in the preface to Sordello, his stress lay on the incidents in the development of the soul. He tells us in the preface to the Sordello, his stress, his focus on the incidents in the development of the soul. And other major themes of his poetry were crime, art, love, religion, philosophy, nature, human personality, etc. Now, the most important fact about his poetry was the age not reflected in his poetry. The age of Victorian. The Victorian features are not reflected in the poetry of Robert Browning. He was the poet of Victorian age, but his poetry was not Victorian. His poetry eh, was the poetry of Renaissance and medieval age. So basically, his poetry is the poetry of Renaissance, or particularly Italian Renaissance. Browning stands in sharp contrast to his great contemporary Tennyson. Tennyson was the great poet of Victorian age and the contemporary of Robert Browning, but the poetry of Tennyson was the poetry of Victorian age. So, Browning stands in sharp contrast to his great contemporary Tennyson. While Tennyson faithfully represents his age in his poetry, the contemporary social and economic trends and problems. While Robert Browning's poetry fails to reflect the conditions of his times, contemporary trends and problems are not the subject of Browning's poetry. Browning did not much love to work on topics connected with his own generation. So, he only talks about the Renaissance, or particularly Renaissance of Italy, in which he describes and depicts the art and culture of the Italy and other Italian things. Browning had any special love for any country is it was Italy, and more especially the Italy of the Renaissance. Browning had a great love of nature, and his descriptions of nature have an essentially Italian inscriptions. Browning's has his own philosophy, his own theory of relationship of man, God, and nature, and faith in God, faith in the immortality of the soul, faith in earnest endeavor are the cardinal points of Browning's philosophy of human life. Religion also finds a prominent place in poetry of Browning. Religion was a subject dear to Browning's heart, and several of his poems deal with theme of religion. Browning did not confine his interests within the limits of any one art. Poetry, painting, and music were the arts which especially attracted Browning. So, why Browning? It was Browning, and we discussed about the main features and main characteristics of Robert Browning. And one another most important feature of Robert Browning's poetry is a dramatic monologue. This is a great technique coined by Robert Browning, and almost every poem of Robert Browning is dramatic monologue. And about dramatic monologue, we discuss in our next lesson. Dramatic monologue is most important for students. So, before study about the Robert Browning, we have to know about the dramatic monologue. Before study about the poetry of Robert Browning, we have to know about the dramatic monologue. So, in our next lesson, we discuss about on dramatic monologue. So, thank you for today.